So, good morning and welcome to this webinar about the role of Vision AI in critical infrastructure. First of all, I hope we are loud and clear. You can hear us loud and clear, see us loud and clear. If not, please let us know in the chat box on the right-hand side of your screen. It's also possible to ask some questions to us. We're going to answer those questions during this webinar, and also afterwards there is some space for a Q&A. So if you have questions, please feel free or discuss some topics in the chat box on the right-hand side.
It is good to see that we got the first thumbs up already. So thanks
I think we're good to
thanks
go.
for approving.
Thanks again for joining this webinar about the role of Vision AI in critical infrastructure. First, let's introduce ourselves. My name is Niek Bultman. I am a marketing specialist within VAIBS, and next to me,
my name is Jos. I'm the business development manager within VAIBS.
And before we dive into the webinar, let's take a look at the agenda. At first, we're going to introduce our company real quick. So we're going to tell you something about VAIBS and the reason why we host this webinar. Next to that, we're going to tell you about what Vision AI exactly is and why this matters to critical infrastructure. And we will end with some practical examples of how Vision AI can be used in critical infrastructure and how it can support it. And then afterwards, as I said, there's some space for a Q&A. So if you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat box and we will answer them right away.
All right. Who are we? As mentioned, our company is called the VAIBS. We are a Dutch company located near Amsterdam. And our mission is to create a smarter, safer world by basically transforming any existing camera into a smarter device than it already is. So basically, we try to make current CCTV infrastructures more intelligent.
So why this topic matters right now, and before we dive into that, it's good for you guys to know what we understand as we talk about critical infrastructure. And when we say that, we refer to systems, facilities, and assets that are vital for functioning of society and the economy. Think of airports, harbors, electricity plants, oil plants, and all that sort of sites. And why this topic matters right now. As you guys know, when you turn on the television, not every place in the world is a fun place to live anymore because of the rising geopolitical tensions. There are a lot of conflicts and a lot of wars, unfortunately, and because of that, pressure on Europe's infrastructure and out of Europe also is increasing. And because of that, a lot of critical infrastructure sites are demanding for fast response to threats, to intruders, to other attacks or maybe hacks, and luckily, technology nowadays is improving very rapidly. Take AI, for example. The technology is improving really quick, which offers a lot of opportunities, and that's what we're going to talk about today. As of today, the world is changing a lot, and organizations have to adapt to the situations as it is and as it's going to be. So they have to adapt to future-proof solutions, and that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, and you also see that a lot of organizations now try to make more data-driven decisions, whether it's urban planning or any other situation. You would like to know, is it really, are we moving into the right direction? Are we doing the right thing? Are measurements we are taking really reaching the result we are looking for? So it's indeed a topic which Vision AI can play a role in.
So, and when we look to critical infrastructures, we see that companies and governmental organizations are investing a lot into security to keep those sites secure. And the thing we see is that they use camera systems to make sure those sites are secure. But the deployment of camera systems are also bringing a lot of challenges, because when you use a lot of cameras, they generate a lot amount of video data, and all those video data has to be monitored manually by operators watching several screens throughout the whole day. And to support them, there's a lot of technology available, but that's more like the traditional technology, like movement detection or heat map detection, or things you can think of with technology that supports operators. And we see that that technology is creating a lot of false alerts, and that's just very exhausting for the operators, because they already have to look at multiple screens for the whole day. And when there's also a lot of false alarms, it's even more exhausting. And because of that, you can probably imagine that the operators are missing some important information or react too late to incidents that really happen because they were looking at incidents that weren't really incidents or detections. So that's the main challenging thing that comes with security systems, like with the cameras. And the last thing is, it's not a challenge, but maybe it's more like, how do we say that?
To become data driven, so you want to prevent things of happening, or so usually if you look at traditional video surveillance, you see we try to see if incidents are happening, that we can act quickly, but gaining a lot of insights might give you the possibility as well to prevent things of happening. So there is a lot of data or a lot of insights within all the video data that you are currently recording. But nowadays, it's by observations to get this data out, and maybe there are other tools to support you with that. And this is maybe the most important question we will ask you today. Because if you could ask your CCTV, your camera system, any question, if it could think, what would you ask it to do? Because that is really pinpointing what are your needs and what would you like it to do. It's going beyond security. It's going beyond, I would like to know if someone is approaching our fence. It could go, and I will just give you an example. It could go, we would like to know what the general occupancy is of a certain area of work or whatever. We would like to know if a suspicious car is approaching our facility. We would like to know if a car has passing by multiple times in a suspicion time throughout the day, so maybe at night. So what would you ask? And please, if you have already things in your mind, please leave them in the chat box. It's good for us to know, and we maybe can focus our story or later on in the presentation to what your question really is. But keep this one in mind throughout your whole presentation. But let me also explain what Vision AI is. Maybe this helps you formulating this question. Vision AI is a technology capable of analyzing images and detecting all kinds of, I would say, objects, persons, cars, vehicles, animals, weapons, whatever it is. Also patterns or even behavior. So it's a technology where we use AI to understand what's happening in the imagery. So we use artificial intelligence. Basically, what Vision AI does is the image on the left. Whenever you Google Vision AI, this is what you will see. You see objects with bounding boxes. Vision AI is being trained, so it has neural networks like the brain, where you're labeling images, and basically how you say to a child, this is a car, this is a car, this is a car. At some point, the car will understand, the child will understand the car. This is what we do to the systems as well. This is what any Vision AI vendor does. We call that AI meta tagging. And by doing so, by understanding objects, we can automate any inspection or detection task. If a person is standing in an area for a certain amount of time, please let me know. I would like to know how many people are passing by this line. We would like to know the occupancy of this area. We would like to generate a heat map. So there are a lot of things. You can collect a lot of data for insights as well to give you more situational awareness. in the industry, Vision AI usually focuses on two technologies, which are machine learning and deep learning. Machine learning is understanding objects. Deep learning is also understanding objects in relation to one another, understanding patterns. Or instance, for difference, machine learning would understand a weapon. Deep learning would understand when a weapon is in a hand.
So when we take Vision AI as a whole and we look to the platform, it comes with a lot of benefits. So see Vision AI as a smart layer on top of your existing camera infrastructure. The technology works with every IP camera, so when you start using it, it's not needed to replace hardware, which is very cost effective, of course. And thanks to the AI algorithms the technology uses, the technology is super accurate. So yeah, it can determine very well if someone is passing or overstepping a fence, or if there's a car in an area, it's not allowed. The technology can also detect events as they happen, so it's not needed to watch the different screens at the same time. The technology is detecting real time, so the information is coming to you. And when something happens that you want something to know of, the technology is capable of generate alerts, gives you insights in what's really happening. And maybe if you're busy doing forensic search, it can also give you searchable data. So all the imagery that is captured, it's given metadata where you can search on. And the last part, and yeah, maybe the most important part, is that Vision AI is a very open technology, which makes it possible to integrate with third-party software and hardware systems. So yeah, if you use this technology, you can integrate it with the systems that are already on site. So the people don't have to learn new technology or new systems, to work to do the same job as they already did. But yeah, you have to see it as an add-on on the current technology.
Yeah, and that's a really good point, and that's why it really is a really big benefit to critical infrastructure, because you don't want to disrupt your complete infrastructure implementing new technology. Operators are used to work in different systems. Maybe data scientists are used to work in different systems. So you want to keep them working in what they are confident using, getting the best, most reliable results. But still, you would like to have the flexibility to make your infrastructure more intelligent and flexible to choose what you would like to gain from your infrastructure. And that's bringing to maybe a really interesting one, because as a critical infrastructure organization, it's a continuous process of learning, adapting, and make sure your organization is the most reliable there is. And that is, of course, first of all, usually people go for Vision AI to see someone is approaching our fence. We would like to know. That's an easy one. Maybe we would like to see in some production areas if someone is falling, or maybe someone is running. We would like to know as well, because that's suspicious behavior, or at least behavior that needs to get our attention. But still, things are happening, and you're having a lot of video material available. It's really interesting for your organization to gain a lot of insights. First of all, saving a lot of time, going through all your material, finding back what happened around an incident. Maybe you can search on human attributes, you can search on cars, you can search on a combination of whatever you're searching for, even free text attributes. So you can just write down what you're looking for, saving a lot of time, gaining a lot of situational awareness, and maybe changing what you would like to detect, because it's good that a system is acting when something is happening, but it's better preventing of happening. The last one, supporting strategic decisions. You need to generate data. It can be done through operations, for security, for safety, for many different departments within your organizations, making strategic decisions, measuring if really measurements are improving the way you want them to do. Secondly, it can support changing priority of an incident that is happening. For instance, if it's really busy in a certain area, maybe you're a city and there is live detection of a weapon in your city, and you know there is thousands of people in that area, it has a different priority than there is maybe 10 people around. Still, both, you need to act quickly, but it will give you an understanding how you need to act. So you can generate data, but you can also see how are the flows of people wandering around, cars traveling around, to see if there are any safety issues or might be safety issues or of workers and traffic coming together, whatever you want to do. It's a continuous process of adapting your system to a better situation. And I do not have to explain you that pre-COVID and post-COVID, the world changed a lot. It will change in the next years as well. So it's a continuous process. It doesn't make sense if you generate data, generate triggers without having a follow-up. Vision AI, see it as a smart sensor within your infrastructure. Vision AI usually offers their own dashboarding for analytics, but in many cases, your organization is already working with data scientists and working with known dashboarding tools. You can get all the data from the system to your dashboarding tool and correlating it with different data you have, whether it's weather, whether it's any other system data you have available. But also it can be sent by HTTP to any system, so you can immediately act on the right system where the operators or the personnel is working in. Can send by email, can be sent by app notifications, so someone on the floor will immediately be notified when something is happening, but you can integrate with any system you would like to have. So it's really important that detecting is nice, generating data is nice, but you need to put it into action before it's really working for you. Of course, there are a lot of integrations around. There is an infrastructure running. The system needs to cooperate with these systems, whether it's VMS, NVR, PSIM, or whatever system it is.
So when we talk about get to action, we go to the control room because that's where the most action is happening. So let's take a look at the benefits of a control room with Vision AI compared to a control room without Vision AI. And as we already said, Vision AI is using smart AI algorithms which lead to a high accuracy, reducing the number of false alerts. So the operators only have to monitor and to look at detections and events that really matter to their work. So they're not looking to false or unwanted alerts when there is no Vision AI platform present. Next to that, the information is proactively sent to operators instead of action reaction. This also means when the information is coming to you that an operator doesn't need to look 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to a screen or multiple screens simultaneously. And as Jos said, the integration allows you to work from a single interface, so it's not needed for operators to learn a new technology, learn a new way to work. They can do their work as they did, but then with like a smart add-on on their current devices, systems, and hardware. So in the end, a control room can do more with the same amount of people, with the same amount of operators. They can do their work more effectively. And in the end, it makes their work a lot more fun, because they're doing things, which are only important to their job.
And really good to emphasize as well. So these are all facts many of you are probably aware of, but by the biology of the human eye, it is proven that a human only sees about 2 degrees sharp. So monitoring multiple screens is impossible to do for a human. What they're really good at, and also be needed for GDPR, human in the loop, they're good in evaluating events. They're good in activating protocols. So They know how to act. They are trained to act when something is happening. Make them more effective, give them also a more meaningful, valuable job by having more data-driven setup within your infrastructure.
So when we look to Vision AI as a whole, we can say that it can be deployed very broadly. So for instance, we made an overview of a power plant as a critical infrastructure site. And we can see that this power plant is using a lot of video cameras to make their plant more secure. And with Vision AI, you can take all those cameras and use them for different purposes, for different use cases. So for example, when you have cameras monitoring the different access roads to the plant, you can count vehicles or detect suspicious behavior from a vehicle. So when there is a vehicle on the time, on a place, he doesn't have to be, you can get a detection. But also on the hand of workplace safety, you can use your cameras to the Vision AI to determine if the workers are using the right protective equipment. If not, you can get a detection from that. But it also can support your security team in monitoring and securing the perimeter or the access control by automating intrusion detection or access control by using license plate recognition. And if something happened and you want to look it up, you can use video search to search all that video data the cameras generated. So as you can see in this overview, Vision AI can be deployed very broadly. It can be used for different use cases. So it's good to ask yourself again, what would you like to ask your camera if it could think? And with Vision AI, it can think, and you can use it in a lot of different ways. And this is just one example. You can also deploy this on an airport or on an oil plant or what you can think of. So
and good to emphasize is that it's flexible. So this is just a plain example that we are giving you right now. And indeed, as Nick already is mentioning, whether it's an airport, seaport, whether you're a police, city center, needs are different, but needs are different in different cities. So you will grow into the solution, but also intelligence on a certain part of the city or maybe some cameras might not be needed in a couple of years because you've solved the issue. And you might need different analytics. A really good one to emphasize is that the current camera that is already running there is monitoring a certain area, can be used for multiple purposes simultaneously. That means that if you have a camera on your access, for instance, it can check license plate, it can check whether there is any tailgating, it can check if someone is going the wrong direction. So one camera can be used for multiple things, even though if someone is falling there, not wearing PPE, that same camera, if it's in the right position, can do all these jobs at the same time. So you're flexible with hardware. You're basically putting a brain into your CCTV infrastructure, having the flexibility to move around. So your needs from nowadays are different than in 2 years. And secondly, you need to grow into your solution. So at some point, maybe data scientists or for your situational awareness, you would like to gain more information. We make your CCTV infrastructure more intelligent.
So let's speed up the things a little bit to keep the webinar in 30 minutes by introducing our Vaidio platform.
It's time to speak about us. So let's introduce our Vision AI platform, which is called Vaidio. Vaidio is a video AI platform where we can monitor thousands of streams simultaneously. And what's really unique is that it runs in the cloud, it runs on premise, it runs on the edge, but it can run all together as well in a hybrid situation, but really important for critical infrastructure. Sometimes as well that it can run completely offline. We can install it offline, we can upgrade it offline. The platform is flexible, so you can easily choose what analytics do I need where, what kind of intelligence would I like to gain from certain areas, and that you do in the core platform. But secondly, there's also an app where you can do all this searching already, which is on iOS and Android, but secondly can be used for receiving alerts or triggers. Yeah. All right. Why is Vaidio unique in what we do? It's the broadest solution in the market, offering more than 35 analytics already in that single platform. Technically, you could activate all these 35 analytics on that single camera, which might be there already for over 10 years, making it out of the blue from a dumb camera to a highly intelligent camera. But the number of analytics doesn't make sense if they're not accurate, and that through our global researches, we're always ending up in the top 3 in terms of accuracy. And that are different researchers sometimes pinpointing a single solution, single analytic, or a broader platform. So it's a broad solution, completely camera independent, which is really unique and integratable with any system you're working with, whether it's VMS, MVR, PSIM, or other systems, or need to integrate with a Power BI dashboard, for instance. Important to know, we also do custom development, because it's very likely within large organizations that we might have a solution, an algorithm which works for your 80% of your use cases, but maybe 10 or 20% we don't. We can develop it. We can develop it quickly to make the system completely working and getting close to the 100% you're looking for. And of course, we wouldn't serve critical infrastructure if we wouldn't be NDAA compliant. And that's a really important one. And I'm not going through all of them, but I'm just showing this to you as a European company working with critical infrastructure in Europe. We know the legislation and we can prove we align to the legislation, whether it's GDPR, whether it's the EU AI framework. We have all the documentation ready. We can support you with any data you would like to have, whether it's our ethical code, whether it's if we have fairness and bias. We have been proven multiple times by customers of us that we do not have any bias in our system, and our policy to make sure we keep that way are proven as being highly accurate. Last but not least, we are ethically hacking our system quite frequently, but that is also being done by our customers. So we prove that we are a reliable cybersecure system. And of course, there are in many cases things that we can increase. We never receive red flags, and we will improve that right away. Yeah. And what makes us unique? Gen AI, generative AI, which is a buzzword nowadays, but you all are familiar with ChatGPT, large language models. You put in a prompt and you get like a complete essay for whatever you want to look for. The counterpart of it is video language models, and that's what we work with. So nowadays we offer you the opportunity just to, by sending prompts, asking your system what you would like to do, what you would like to gain, what situation you would like to be notified of, just by adding plain text as you would ask your system yourself. It would recognize in real world scenarios, but secondly, a really important one is that it will also explain what's happening in the scene. So usually that was asked to the operator, all right, this has happened. Can you please evaluate and check if this is really a critical scenario? But now we will explain why we believe this is a critical scenario throughout the scene that we are seeing. You basically are able to create custom alerts, which is not the right word because they're not really custom, but the system is capable of understanding everything that's happening. So we really go back to how you would approach, back to the question we asked before, what would you ask your system to do for you?
So, and when we wrap up things a little bit, talking about Vision AI, how do you start with this technology? And as Jos already mentioned in the previous slide, the first thing you have to do is to ask yourself, what would I ask, or what would we ask to our camera surveillance systems? Because all those questions can be single use cases you can use to tell to your vendor. Because in step 2, you are going to speak with different vendors of Vision AI technology, discuss your AI use cases you have on the table, and we're lucky if we are that preferred vendor. But we are happy to help. But it's possible to think that there's another solution that maybe fits you better. But try to think of those different use cases and bring them to the table when you talk with different vendors. And if you chose the right vendor, then the next step is to connect your existing cameras and make the right adjustments, the right configurations to make sure that the use case you want to deploy on your site is really working for you. And next to that, it's also as important to integrate the Vision AI platform with the existing systems that already are there on the site or on the control room. So this is a very brief plan, but when you do this, keep in mind that you have to start small, configure the things right as the way you want them to be. And one of the big benefits of Vision AI is that it's very easy to scale this technology about the other cameras you have on site. So keep that in mind. Start small. If you're happy with the situation as it is, right, then scale when needed. So I think we came to the end of the presentation, almost in time. And before ending, we want to give you some takeaways. So after this presentation, you now know that the Vision AI platform upgrades your camera infrastructure instantly. You can use your existing cameras for faster detection, for generating fewer alarms. And because of you use your existing camera system, because the Vision AI platform is a smart layer on top of it, it's a very cost-effective and scalable solution. So you don't have to replace all the hardware. The operators in the control room will be very happy with this technology because the workload will reduce a lot. They can do more things they like to do, and the things that are more important to do. So if you have a Vision AI platform integrated in your control room on your site, you have a security solution that helps you with security challenges of tomorrow. And with that said, we came to the Q&A session, to the last part of this presentation. So I hope everything was clear. We will make sure this presentation will end up in your mailbox at the end of the day. So I'm curious, are there any questions? Do you want to see more of this webinar, more of this subject? It's good to know. If you want to see more about the software, please visit our website. Please reach out or visit our YouTube channel, where there are a lot of videos showing the software in practice, so you can get a good feeling of how it's working exactly. So please, if you have any questions, we would like to know. So we see a lot of positive feedback. Thank you very much.
That's it was a good start with a first international webinar. If you have any other subject or topic you would like to know more about, please leave them in the chat as well. That might be a good topic for further meetings, further webinars.
So we see more questions. If you have several objects, do you need hardware in each place?
Oh, great. That's a good question. That differs per what your infrastructure is, and what your bandwidth is. So what we see, we can run completely federated. So we can have local instances working on different areas, generating metadata, being shared, completely shared with a command center, so in centralized location. So you do local processing and centralized analysis, triggers, setting up the cameras. But it can also be done if you have situations where there is a cloud or a good bandwidth, where you use the bandwidth just transporting the streams to the cloud or a centralized location. So it doesn't really matter what your infrastructure is. We have a solution, whether it's a small piece of hardware doing local generation metadata, or if you have the bandwidth, you can share it to a centralized location or the cloud or wherever you want to have it to. We have an infrastructure that works for you. If you have larger instances, we can also have a data center infrastructure for thousands of cameras, even in your own data center, if available.
So, and let's have a look. Christoph asks, is it possible to try this project for free?
Sure. we need to know. I need to know more to completely say yes, but generally speaking, we are able to. We have different ways of testing the system. First of all, I would like to support you to maximize this opportunity, understanding the system. Secondly, or you could choose running it and also answering another question, running it on your own server. We need to just to check if your specifications of the server are good. We really need an NVIDIA GPU. Other than that, we work with any hardware. Or we run a small test in our cloud sometimes to see how it's functioning. Or if you have certain scenarios and you can share video footage, you can easily share that with us, even though it's acted, to see, and we can show you based on the video footage how the system would work. But reach out, depending on the questions you have, we can see how we can test this system for you.
So Imans, yes, you can run this on your own server, but it's good to talk about the specifications. As Jos said, we need an NVIDIA GPU card, and there are some other specifications we need to check before running it on your own server. But the brief answer is yes. Yes.
Happy to cooperate.
So I think that was the last question for now. If you have any other questions, please still reach out. As I said, I will make sure you will get the presentation and our contacts at the end of the day. And then you have to know who you have to ask. Oh, how about one more question?
One more question. PTZ camera is a really good question. So for video search, for detecting a lot of things, PTZ will work. We can work with presets on PTZ. So if they have presets, every preset can have a different configuration when required. But we also run with projects with other hardware suppliers where, for instance, you have radar, PTZ, radar picking up on this PTZ zooming in, and we are classifying what we see. So yes, we do have a lot of projects, PTZs involved. Is that answering your question, Imans? Preset will allow you to
functional cameras to cover multiple locations in a single camera with a single license.
Yeah, if the system talks, I see, would allow you to retask these functional cameras to cover multiple. So indeed, it would work with a single license. So one camera, one license, one highly intelligent camera covering a larger region. As well, body cams, basically, answer your question, whatever has a stream works for us, whether it's a drone, whether it's a body cam, whatever it is.
But it's good to discuss the use case, the point of the camera, what the camera sees, to determine for sure if it's the right way to cover the use case. But if it's a video stream, we can use it. So the answer is yes, in short.
That makes us unique, being completely agnostic. Thank you all for your questions, for the interactivity. I really enjoyed that. Thank you all for joining this first ever international webinar in such a big audience. We really appreciate for your time. And even though we went over time, you're still connected. So thank you all. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day. Bye.